A question that crops up a lot is there a difference between illegal and unlawful, or indeed illegal and lawful? Well, I mean, what does the dictionary say? And we can look at Merriam-Webster, because it's free. If we look at the definition of illegal, it just says see unlawful. And if we look at the definition of unlawful, it says see illegal. So that's a bit circular. But as we've discussed, like when we were talking about Black's Law Dictionary, dictionaries, even law dictionaries, don't necessarily capture all the nuance of the law. So how is it used in law? Well, some people, like I say, do seem to think that it's illegal refers to criminal and unlawful refers to civil. But no, I mean, lots of criminal offences feature the word unlawful when they're describing the elements of the offence. And obviously lots of civil stuff, relates to, unlawful things. You build a house without planning permission, it's unlawful. But you don't necessarily go to prison for it. It might just make you pull your house down. But what about the other way around? What's interesting is, when I was asking friends and colleagues about this, somebody referred me to Section 31 of the Offences Against the Persons Act. That's to do with setting, traps for people. And that makes it an offence to set a trap to commit GBH. However, there are exceptions to that. There are two exceptions. There's using it for animal control. Imagine my views on that. And also, as an exception, if you're using it within your own property. But what's interesting there is, in the two sections that say nothing in this act effectively prohibits using in these circumstances, in the bit, in one section, in the bit that sort of says about using animals, it says illegal. And in the bit about in your own house, it says it's not unlawful. So they actually use illegal and unlawful interchangeably in what are effectively two identical paragraphs. But perhaps the most interesting case is one where they actually discuss the idea about illegality. And this was a case where somebody had to have been proved to be, to have broken the law. But they actually specifically say, we can see it ourselves, where they see that there is a distinction between behaviour that is illegal in the criminal sense and illegal in the tortious sense. And a tort is just a civil wrong. So they recognise those are two very different things, but they use the word illegal to describe both. So yeah, in summary, I mean, it's just like we have couch, settee and sofa. As Terry Pratchett said, English doesn't just borrow from other languages, it takes them down dark alleyways and holds them upside down and shakes them till words fall out of their pockets. And that's the only reason we have it. They're just different etymologies for the same thing. And if you look at it, unlawful seems to come from, it says Old English, but it's actually more of a Norse origin. And illegal is just Norman French. But yeah, it's just one of those things where we have multiple words to describe what is in effect the same thing. So yeah, in summary, as far as the law is concerned, there is absolutely no difference between using the words unlawful and illegal, and they can be used, and indeed they are used quite often, interchangeably. So, hope you found that, as always, vaguely interesting. If you did, please consider liking, subscribing and sharing.